most people think of the United States government in terms of separation of powers. However, at the end of the day, the body that decides whether an act is or is not constitutional is part of the federal government, and not surprisingly, it consistently finds in favor of the federal government.
I think that's exactly right. And let me just give you an example of a case that really supports what I'm saying here. There was it's a 1996 case called United States v. Wren. And it's just a simple traffic stop in Washington, D.C. What's 100% clear about this case is that the officers involved were racially profiling. They pulled over the defendant in this case because he was a young black man driving a car in a particular part of Washington, D.C. But what they asserted in court was that they were pulling him over for making an unsignaled right turn and that he rolled through the stop sign. Now, it may be that both things are true. It may be that he, in fact, did roll through the stop sign, but it's also true that they would not have pulled him over except for the fact that they were suspicious of him because of his race. How do we know that? Because they were all working undercover on a squad that was forbidden from enforcing traffic laws. And they went into court and said, we pulled him over for rolling through a stop sign, even though we were forbidden by our own department from engaging in traffic enforcement. It could not be more clear why they pulled him over. They pulled him over for being a young black man in the wrong neighborhood. And the Supreme Court said, you know what? If you're prepared to come into court and say traffic infraction, even though we all know that it was racial profiling, if it's plausible that a traffic infraction actually happened, we are not going to ask why you actually made this stop. And once you have a judiciary that's prepared to accept blatantly pretextual justifications like that, there is no more Constitution, at least in any meaningful sense of the word, because the government will always be able to come up with a pretext, like we were just trying to protect the federal courthouse when we were 8 blocks away taking the stick to a bunch of protesters.
Thank you.